more cutthroats just to get them off the table. However, another bounce spell means it's come back as blockers. So instead I take the Brazen Borrower, that way even if it does come back, they don't have a way to block any of their stuff here. Then I play Judith. Even if it gets countered, that's mana they're not spending on spells. So, Judy Baby coming down, Judy Baby win the game, good game, and a lot of harbor. So, yeah, they don't have it. How's it going, y'all? TitansFan920 here, and today we have some historic action. I'm taking on the Historic Open, or Historic Challenge, whatever it's called. Basically, you're trying to get 8 wins in this thing before you get 3 losses. The more wins you get, the more packs you get, and gold, all that kind of stuff. Before we start, a reminder, tomorrow is the early access stream, so if you're looking to see some new Core 2021 Standard decks, you know, we did the video showing all the new decks for Core 2021 Standard. We'll be playing quite a few of those on the stream tomorrow, as well as some new ones I may have found or came up with. So make sure to tune into that. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time. Starts at around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so as soon as the thing opens, we'll be live doing it. So twitch.tv/TitansFan920. Also, thank you all so much for the support. We hit the 2,000 subscriber mark. To start the year off, we are at 300 subscribers, 360 something, I think. So having 2,000 is just insane to me. That's crazy. So we'll be doing the drawing for the booster box giveaway. So just once again, thank you all so much for the support. It means the world to me. But anyway, what we got here, 4-color humans, and I know 4 colors seem sketchy. We have 4 unclaimed territory and 4 ancient Ziggurat. So 8 different lands total that just make your mana spend on however you need to on all these creatures. The deck is nothing but creatures. Also 2 tournament grounds kind of doing the same thing. But basically this is an aggressive deck. You have your lords and inspiring veteran giving all your knights +1/+1. Judith giving all creatures +1/+0. Benalish Marshal giving all creatures +1/+1. General Kudro giving all humans, which is everything in here, +1/+1. Almost everything, by the way. Deputy, not human. And it's just kind of crazy. Sideboard-wise, a lot of stuff for control matchups, mostly. Controller Reclamation. So you have Thalia's, Catself, Freebooter, Battling Mage. It's a really interesting list. I'll be honest, before this starts, never played this one, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm looking forward to taking this in the challenge. We did Gruul earlier while I was on stream. We went 2 and 3. Didn't go super hot, so I want redemption, so we're going to try this out. So let's take this in there, see how it goes. Let's go! Alright, first game of the day here is against Peralda. We will take the play. Open in hand here. 5 lands is pretty heavy, but Venerable Knight into Inspiring Veteran is a pretty good hand, because we can cast the Knight on turn 1, follow it up with a Veteran. We swing it to 3. If one of those things dies, like the Venerable Knight, we can put a counter on another Knight, so not too shabby. We draw a 3-drop here. Deputy in the dark is not very good, but it's nice to have that kind of answer when you need to. So we'll try to play Inspiring Veteran. They only have the 1 mana up, so I can't imagine they have a counter for this. So we'll see what they got here. By the way, this is post-commentary gameplay. I recorded this with no audio, so I'm having to go back and commentate over this after editing it. So I'm not going to try to spoil anything as it goes. We'll play it kind of like we did before. We'll see how it goes. They flashed in Spectral Sailor, so we got some mono blue, which is kind of hilarious because when I played Gruul on stream earlier, I also got paired up against Mono Blue game 1 and lost to them because they just had the absolute nuts. So here we have the Fervent Champ, we have the Deputy. I could try to Deputy the Spectral Sailor, but that's not a great play, so I figure I'll try to play the Fervent Champ for now. Lookout's Dispersal gets us. It sucks to have that counter, but also it's not a huge deal because they're spending a 3-mana card to counter a 1-drop. And we've already got them down to 12. Here we got Kudro. As much as I would love to play around everything, you can't not play Kudro. So we'll play this out, see if they can counter it or not. Once again, they counter it. Lookout's Dispersal doing work. However, we're ahead on board right now. We're swinging for 5. Now, I decided to not swing in with Veteran here because with that 1 mana up, there's a potential that they have a Spectral Sailor, another Spectral Sailor they can flash in, and even though they could double block there, I still don't like that trade on my end. So Siren Stormtamer comes down here. We draw a Hostage Taker off the top. We've actually been drawing pretty well here. So I decided before I play my land, let's play the Hostage Taker. Let's see what we can do. Because we have the 1 mana to be able to cast any of these creatures if they hit it. Now, even though I'd rather have the Spectral Sailor, the Stormtamer can protect it. So it's better off there taking the Stormtamer. And now that they didn't see our land, we can shock that land in, play the Stormtamer. If they counter it, not a big deal. So 4 creatures on the board to their 1 now. Again, we just swing for 3 here. With the kind of things they can do, flashing in Cutthroat and whatnot. They can get us got. So here opponent has a really nice play. They Petty Theft on the Inspiring Veteran and then Dive Down, so that block becomes unfavorable for us and we lose a creature. So, good play by opponent, but they did have to use quite a bit of cards there, which is nice for us. So, I'm ready to get some things down here now. I decide they already know about the veteran. Let's play this first. They opt, looking for an answer. Inspiring Veteran coming down. Doesn't matter now. It's just a vanilla 2-2 at this point. Figure, I don't really care if they trade here. So we just go to attacks. If they want to trade. Merfolk Trickster. Once again, opponent playing this really nicely. That allows the Storm Tamer to lose flying. So they can once again eat it up. So we take them down to 7. Here the shields are almost down. They only have 1 mana left over. So I can play Deputy here. Here, so it's kind of a tough choice here. I can take the Sailor to get rid of the Flyer and the card draw that they can have eventually, or the 2-2. I decide I'd rather get rid of the Flyer just because I don't want them drawing into more answers. So, figure here, go ahead and play out the Worthy Knight. See if they have a counter spell as that last card in the hand. At this point, with them only having 1 card in hand, you've got to start forcing this stuff. Worthy Knight comes down. We'll make a token. Stormfist Crusader comes down, and now that board's just there's no way they can really compete with that. So I swing for 2 here. Now, I probably should have swung with the veteran there as well, just because if they wanted to trade there with it, that gets a creature off the board. We're way wider than they are anyways. But they don't have it. So good game 1 against mono blue. We get there. Sideboard-wise, trying to think of what to do here. Thalia is kind of interesting because they don't really play a ton of non-creature spells. You'd think with mono blue they would play more, but a lot of them are creatures. Still, we bring in some Thalia. We bring in some Meddling Mage. Take out some Dauntless Bodyguards. They don't have removal here, so the Indestructible Clause isn't super great. We'll take out 1 Judith because the ping isn't super amazing for him. And again, these don't have a lot of removal, so like the other creatures dying just doesn't matter that much for us. And I finally cut 1 more Benalish Marshal, just a kind of more expensive creature on the curve there. Opener here is 3 lands. We have 1-drop, 2-drop, 3. I mean, this is a fantastic hand. Can't complain about that. The mana is great. And again, that's what I was saying earlier. Even though you're playing 4 colors, technically, your mana just lines up incredibly well a lot of times. So, Venerable Knight down. They got the 2 mana to play a Siren Storm Tamer. So here, we can put down Meddling Mage. And I'm not sure, so I've been out of Historic for a while. I was saying this on stream when I was talking earlier. So I'm not really sure exactly what the meta is, especially in mono blue. I started doing Petty Theft, thinking, hey, this keeps them off of bouncing our stuff here, which is pretty nice. But I know that in the past they've also played bigger things. So instead of Petty Theft, I'm just trying to think a little bit here what to name, because I'm not super sure. Try to go with Tempest Gen instead, because next turn if they drop that down with this 4-butt, that's pretty hard for us to get rid of. So I swing in Venerable Knight here, offer a trade if they want to trade. They don't. So they play land number 3, Curious Obsession. And looking back now, Curious Obsession shot probably should have been the play here, because this at least makes them answer my Meddling Mage before they can play another. So that's a little frustrating. So we'll drop Unclaimed Territory. I can play Deputy of Detention here. And that's what the play is going to be. So I decided to swing for 4, hoping they flash something in to block. They don't. So second main, I'm still kind of figuring out what to play here. Decided to do Meddling Mage again. I think in retrospect, I was supposed to play Kudro or Deputy, since I had the Worthy Knight in hand. That way, the next turn I could go double spell. So not the best decision on my part there. They play another Siren Storm Tamer. And it's going to be pretty annoying now, because now we can't hold that up. Now, granted, they would have countered one if we played anyway, so it's not a huge deal. But that's the way she goes. So here they got 3 mana. Figure, let's try to get Kudro out there. They're doing 2 a turn to us. Might as well try to get the board bigger. We can't here. Counterspell, dot deck. Here they trade. Trade with the Venerable Knight, which is fine with me. Getting that Storm Tamer out of there makes that Siren Storm Tamer that's left on the battlefield a little bit more vulnerable. Words are hard. So here we get a Worthy Knight, and that's not too bad. So I play this one first, kind of hoping they counter it. They don't, however. So since they don't, figure I might as well just play another one, because if we can start going wide, and even though that Siren Storm Tamer is going to get a lot of value, it's going to be pretty hard for them to go wide enough to make it matter. So Metal Mage in swinging. Brineborn Cutthroat. Yikes. No blocks for them. I was kind of hoping they'd block. I would have loved to trade there. And another Brineborn Cutthroat. So, all of a sudden, that clock we had that was getting pretty insurmountable, their board's growing pretty fast. They swing for 2 here so they can draw a card, and now they can hold back these Brineborn Cutthroats as really good blockers. So, figure I'll play another land just in case they have Lookout's Dispersal. I guess we couldn't pay for Lookout's Dispersal here, but play the Deputy. So this is a kind of awkward one. We can take both of these out of there. However, if we swing and they bounce this, they can have them back to block. But that also makes them smaller again. So doing this at least removes a counter from that one, which is pretty nice. And now we're getting close to crunch time. We gotta start swinging. Opponent takes it, goes to 3. And then they Petty Theft on the Deputy. And unfortunately, since it's instep, we can't just get that back. So opponent's got a lot of power here. They have 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. If they have a way to grow any of these creatures, we're dead. Instead, they don't. So they swing again. They're thinking. They gotta at least swing in the Brazen Borrower. And if they don't swing in the Storm Tamer, they lose the Curious Obsession. So instead, they just swing all out and go to take us to 1, which I'm not really sure what their outs are for doing that. Kind of a weird one there. I want the Judith to resolve a lot here, so I decided to play the Deputy first since they know about it. Once again, now this is where you could mess up. I think a lot of people may try to take the Brineborn Cutthroats just to get them off the table. However, another bounce spell means it's come back as blockers. So instead, I take the Brazen Borrower. That way, even if it does come back, they don't have a way to block any of her stuff here. Then I play Judith. Even if it gets countered, that's mana they're not spending on spells. So Judy Baby coming down. Judy Baby winning the game. Good game. 1-0 to start it off with. We take those. By the way, if you hear that little racket in the background, my dryer was going on, so I apologize for that. It's not for the whole video. So game 2 against Koger. Let's see if we can't start this thing 2-0. We'll be on the draw of this game. This will be a common theme of ours as the episode goes on. So opponent mulligans to 6. They play a Godless Shrine. Pass the turn. No turn 1 plays is rough. We'll go and play a Hallowed Fountain for now. Ship it on back. And they have 1 land here. Opponent, what is you doing? However, we have no sympathy for Yorion players missing anything. None at all. And I figured if they missed the land there, they'd probably just scoop. Instead, they have the Charming Prince, so I guess I can kind of see why they keep that. If they just have the 1 more land, they can scry and make sure they kind of set up the draws. Top 1, bottom 1. Well, their shields are down, though. Thinking of what to do. So I played Benalish Marshal here. Just a side note, probably should have played the Kudro. I know it doesn't seem super important, but that means if they remove one of the Kudros, we still have another one we can play. Whereas here, the Benalish Marshal is not legendary, so it doesn't really matter. However, there is some aspect of keeping the Kudro because it exiles a card from a graveyard, so saving it there kind of makes sense, but I still think the correct play was to play Kudro there instead of the Benalish Marshal. Saying that, we do draw another one. So I say here, finally figured out, what's he gonna do? We got all humans here, so our good friend Kudro coming down, exiling that Fable Passage, which can be relevant if they play things like Euro. Against this matchup, probably not. So now our little tokens are 3/3s. And I choose General Kudro with Dauntless Bodyguard. And again, this is me probably playing a little bad. I probably should have chose the Benalish Marshal because if that Kudro died, we have another one as backup. Heartless Act coming down, targeting Benalish Marshal. Okay. However, we're still able to swing 5 here. And they chump block the Worthy Knight, which makes me think they have a board wipe, which is a little bit scary for us. Is that this deck can be pretty weak to board wipes. So there comes a land, there comes a Shatter, and unfortunately everything is at 3 power, so no card draw for us. Kudro does live. Venerable Knight, not the worst draw. We play a Benalish Marshal, pump up the team. Here, decide to get the Charming Prince exiled in case they have an ECD. That's just one thing they can't get back anymore. Then we play our 1 mana 4/3 here. Exile Shadow the Sky because why not? Swing for 4 on them, and all of a sudden, even though they had the board wipe last turn, we are still representing lethal once again. Hostage Taker comes in. Takes our general, which is honestly just really rude. Here we play Kudro of our own. Exile their Heartless Act. Go to attack, swing for 8. And then we'll finally play a Stormfist Crusader. If all they do this turn is just play our General Kudro, they're dead. So we're kind of hoping that's the play. Hostage Taker is a little bit too slow here. They miss the land drop. So that's what they do. They play the Kudro. Like, obviously it's not over yet because they can have removal. But with 1 mana there, they're pretty sunk and they see it. GG's. Sideboard-wise here. Take a look at that battlefield. Look at all the things we exiled. Okay. So once again, Thalia comes in. Thalia's been an all-star in these matchups. We'll have Thalia. We'll have Kite Sails. Take out the deputies here. They didn't really play a lot of non-land permanents for us to worry about. And I feel like they probably even moved some more out of the deck. I apologize for the sideboarding here. It's slow and painful. I'll admit that. 2 Hostage Takers come out. Because Hostage Taker is the only card we saw from them that's a creature, minus Yorion. Meddling Mages we bring in also. Once again, not sure if it's correct or not, but we just start cutting some of these Lords and these more expensive cards. And here on the draw, the Venerable Knight just seems like it's a tad slow, so we take that out. So game number 2 against Koger. Opener, 2 lands, not too shabby. Opponent plays Godless Shrine, passes the turn. So here I shock in because Tournament Grounds can't cast Meddling Mage. So I would like to be able to do Meddling Mage if I can, but if not, we have Thalia here, which is just fine also. They thought Erasure. So they end up taking the Thalia from us, which is makes me a sad panda. So here we get the Tournament Grounds. Unfortunately, we cannot cast Meddling Mage now, so we play a Stormfist Crusader. Get that down. Swing for 2. Opponent plays land number 3. Oath of Kaya! Comes down. Smacking our poor Crusader baby in the face. You hate to see it. Hate to see it. Ancient Ziggy coming down. Here we got a multitude of things we can do. Eyeing that Benalish Marshal. Play that down. Swing for 3. And if you're asking me, what's your rationale between playing the Marshal over the Kudro? I don't really know. But we did it anyways. So they played this information campaign here. We ditched the Kudro since we have other lords anyways. We draw a land here, so this allows us to kind of do both the cards. So here, we play the Meddling Mage. And if I recall correctly, I think this is where I get the fat thumb. So, nope, not here. Just kidding. You heard nothing. Swing for 8. They can't cast Shadow the Sky if they have it. So we have 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 power on board. Timely Reinforcements. I hate this card. 3 mana for them to gain 6 life and get 3 1/1s is pretty frustrating. So, is what it is, though. Here, Dauntless Bodyguard coming down. And I feel like since Meddling Mage is the most important, I can name that. That way I can still attack him with it anyways. So, we're doing a little math. We'll swing the Dauntless Bodyguard. Swing the Marshal, because they can't block it either. Unless they have a Disfigure, can hurt us combat math-wise. But here I decide swing everything but the Inspiring Veteran in. Because as it stands now, they're either trading all the creatures for all this stuff or doing some weird blocks. So, only 2 creatures on the Marshal means they probably have the Disfigure. And they do. Hate it. Hate it. However, we still do get them down a little bit. We lose one of our creatures, but not the end of the world. So So here they pay the 3 mana to get Yorion back in hand, play a tap land, pass the turn. Ooh. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage we can swing for. Unfortunate we didn't draw another Lord. If we drew another Lord here, they'd be dead. No such luck. Play land, pass turn. So they can play Yorion here, blink the Othakaya. That kills another creature and gets them up to 6 life, which is pretty terrifying. Because they can kill our Inspiring Veteran, and then we just have 4 power that can attack through when we need to get 6 damage in. Glacial Fortress. Yorion. They can also bounce the Disinformation Campaign as well, just to draw a card. So, Oath and Disinformation Campaign coming back. Othakaya targeting the veteran, nothing surprising there. They go to 6, critter down, they draw a card. Off the top, we get a Fervent Champion, which usually turn 5, turn 6, whatever turn it is, you don't want to have 1/1. But a hasty 1/1 that pumps the team is actually exactly what we needed. So now, regardless of how they block, if they do that, we get them down to 1. So now they're in a place where they have to board wipe us, but they can't do it because we have Shatter Name with Meddling Mage. So unless they have a way to get that killed or move multiple creatures, we got them in a good spot. I want to cast a Hostage Taker. That is pretty rough for us. So they're reading over Dauntless Bodyguard. It can't protect it from Hostage Taker, unfortunately. So they take that. Really good draw by the opponent. That's brutal for us. And they cast Meddling Mage. Curious to see what they name here. They name Fervent Champion, which is probably smart. Another haste threat off the top. So unfortunately, even though we got really close here, we have to scoop. We can't. We're just not going to be able to outvalue that. Getting them a 1 life and losing is rough. So the good news is we can take the play this game, and this hand is fine. It's not incredibly explosive, but we have Meddling Mage to stop some things early on. Worthy Knight to get the board a little bit wide if we draw Knights, and then Judith as the Lord here is pretty good. Fabled Passage for the opponent. Alright, so we draw Ziggy for the turn. We're trying to decide what to play here. So I play Meddling Mage. So my thoughts here are Shadow the Sky, Othakaya. So I start typing in an Oath, and I finally decide, nah, Shatter's the one that's a little bit more important here, I think. So Shadow the Sky gets named here. And as I was saying earlier, like, this is one of the fun things about playing this deck, because you kind of try to solve these puzzles and predict what they're going to do. That just screams Heartless Act right there. Opponent plays a Charming Prince. They bottom 2 there on the Scribe, which is very good for us, though. Ancient Ziggy off the top. So here we'll just play a Judith since the shields are down. Pass the turn. They probably have a removal spell for it, but it is what it is. Now, if I had 2 different Meddling Mages in the hand, then Heartless Act would have possibly been one of the cards that I named there. Heartless Act comes in, kills Judith. We just have to shoot them in the face because 1 damage to Charming Prince does nothing. Passes turn. So here, another Worthy Knight's actually a pretty good draw. Because as it stands right now, they can't shatter us. So, Worthy Knight, make a token. Just start getting that board a little bit wide, so that way we can slowly start attacking in there later on and not have to worry about too much what they're doing. So turn 4. They disfigure one of the Worthy Knights, which is pretty frustrating. 1 mana answer if that's really good. So they pass the turn, but they don't put Yorion back in hand, so I'm curious to what they got. We play Thalia here. Omen of the Sun. So opponent's done a really good job of just kind of slowing us down to where we can't really attack in and do much here. So all of a sudden, this matchup's looking pretty bad for us now. You have to get pretty aggressive and kill these decks quickly, and we have failed to do so far. Opponent with a Heartless Act on Thalia because they have every answer they need. Play a land. And another Charming Prince. This Yorion, when they play, is going to be very good if we can't kill them. So, the top two there, we draw another land. Aggressively throw it there. Give them the Knights, because it seems like that's all we can really draw, even though it's not the case. Opponents just got the answers, we don't. Oath of Kaya, again, almost concede there out of rage, but we don't. They put the Yorion back in hand. We gotta draw something good here. It is another land. So, give them the good game and concede. Womp, womp, womp. It's the one loss there that brings us to 1-1. Not the best of starts. Game 3 here. We're on the draw. So we have a one-lander here where we can play Fervent Champ. And I keep it because even though this is a super risky draw, if we can just get the one more land, this Fervent Champ can go off and these Worthy Knights get a lot of value. We don't have to land there, but again, this hand is gas if we can hit something. So risky keep for sure. They play Lazav. So that 1-3 is definitely going to be getting in the way of a Worthy Knight. Unfortunately, no land for us. We do play another 1-drop, but that's all we can do for now, so we pass a turn. Hate to see it. If we miss another land drop, it's probably best to just pack it on in because we don't want to reveal too much of our deck here. Maybe they'll just think we're a Knight's deck instead of humans. So Ashiok coming down for opponent. Ashiok exiles the things. They hit an Archamoeba. They have a Fiend Artisan in the graveyard. I mean, it's just a really good start for them. So, no need to reveal anything else we do. They had a great start anyway. Sideboard-wise for us. Look at what they got here. Bring in some Hostage Taker, because being able to take a Lazav is mutated into something else. Well, I guess mutate is a word I can't use now, but transformed into something else, and a Fiend Artisan is really, really nice for us. So, put those in. Trim 2 Venerable Knights and then get back at it. So we'll take the play of this game, another one-lander, because Magic hates us. This hand, very slow, but it is one that can get pretty big, pretty fast. So I figure I can ditch one of our 3-mana lords here, so we do that. Alright, so game 2. Drop the Hallowed Fountain tapped and pass turn. Even though we just bottomed Judith, we find another. I go and check and verify that we did drop it, but it's what it is. Alright, so opponent's got that Grixis mana up. Lazav coming down yet again. Which is okay, because we have these lords here, so we can pump up the Inspiring Veteran and attack. Here we'll shock in Sacred Foundry. End up playing the General Kudro. Unfortunately, they didn't have anything to exile there. And again, I think I've been playing these Marshals and Kudros kind of backwards here now that I'm looking at it. Because I could have played that Marshal here just as easily. And then that gives us another turn for them to put something in their graveyard that I could exile later with Kudro. Just in case it gets removed. Mire Triton coming down. Stitcher Supplier, Merfolk Secret Keeper going to the graveyard. And now we can't really attack because that 2-1 Death Touch is going to hold us back, which is pretty frustrating. Here, since I don't really feel like attacking anyway, decided it's better to just play the Worthy Knight. Had to edit a little bit because the opponent was taking forever. Exile the Stitcher Supplier just because that's a card they can want to get back sometimes. We'll pass the turn here. So the plan here is to hopefully go wide a little bit since we can't attack right now. Now, as you see here, the clock is ticking down for the opponent. They timed out. We played another spell the next turn and it passed on, so I'm not sure what happened to opponent. Clinton, I hope you're okay. I appreciate the free win you gave us, but I hope you're okay because we were down 0-1 in that matchup. So even though we may have not deserved it here, we do get that second win. Take what we can get. Fix your game, Arena. Game number 4 against Bonnie Joy on the play this time. So 2 games on the play, 2 games on the draw. Seems fair so far. Opener hand, very, very aggressive. We play this Dauntless Bodyguard on turn 1. Turn 2, play Double Champ. Swing for 7? Is that right? Swing for 6. Math is hard because 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. Unclaimed territories, just letting us play all the things we need here. So turn 1, just the casual 6 damage. Not a big deal. Now, it's important to note, when you have all these unclaimed territories, with Deputy in hand, it's probably safe to name Wizard on one of these, just so you can cast your Deputy as well. Because as it stands right now, we can't cast Deputy of Detention. Gross File for opponent. Another Dauntless Bodyguard. Whatever, though. We're the aggressor. Drop down the General Kudro. Exile the Gross Spiral. Swing away. Swing for 9. It's the end of their turn 2, and they're at 5 life. So, Castle Vantress comes down. Wilderness Reclamation comes down. That's okay, though, because that means that they probably don't have the board wipe. They could have a Flame Sweep at instant speed. They don't play reds, so I'm not really sure what answer they could have main board here. They play a Gross Spiral. Again, I'm not even sure what they could be looking for at this point. And that was kind of a waste for them, because all they're doing is just revealing more things for us to let us know they have. So, if you're the opponent or anybody who's in this position, just concede a little bit earlier. Don't show your opponents what you're playing against if you don't have to. So now that I know it's Team Reg, all the usual suspects come in here. 13 cards get sideboarded in. Hostage Takers for sure come out. Judy's come out. Just a little bit expensive for the 1-0 instead of 1-1. Cut a couple of these lords. The General Kudro is typically a little bit more important because it exiles things. That's why you saw me cut more marshals there. 5 cards to cut. I cut the Dauntless Bodyguard. I think it has actually I thought that was the Venerable Knight. The Venerable Knights should be cut here over the Bodyguard just in case they have removal. I finally cut one more Inspired Veteran. This may not be, the appropriate sideboarding for this. I'm not really sure. I think the cards I bring in are really good. As far as what to sideboard out here is really confusing, though. So if you're somebody that plays this deck and I'm just sideboarding all wrong, please nicely let me know in the comments. Temple Guard for opponent. They pass the turn. We play Fervent Champ on turn 1. You get to swinging. They have the Glacial Fortress and to search for Canta. Really glad that they lowered the shields here because I can play Thalia now. And even though it may be tempting to play the Meddling Mage, Thalia is essentially a time walk in these matchups a lot of times, so you want to put the Thalia in first. And we kind of have all the tools to pick their hand apart here. We have the Meddling Mage to name things. We have the Kitesail Freebooter to look at their hand. So, liking where we're at now. They bought him a Lyra. Good to know they have that. Also terrifying that they have that, though. So, Fountain coming down. Here we shock in. Play the Meddling Mage. And since they're Reclamation deck, go ahead and name Wilderness Reclamation because it's not going to be anything but that. And they don't have the mana to board wipe this next turn regardless. So my hope is, if they can't play Reclamation now, we start building their board up here and then drop the Freebooter. Make sure we take whatever board wipe they would have if they have one, because right now they can't shatter us. And it feels so good. Alright, so opponent passed the turn here. So we go ahead and play the Kitesail Freebooter first. It resolves. Let's take a gander at that hand. So awkward hand here because they have Shatter and Root Snare. If we take the Root Snare and they don't draw a land, they do die. However, with them having the Growth Spiral in hand, they can Growth Spiral. They have 2 draws of the land. That's pretty good odds for them. So I figured we'll just get Root Snared to death for a little bit. But as it stands right now, they have no way to remove our board or wipe us, and they only have the 1 Root Snare in hand. So figure we'll attack in here, is kind of force that Root Snare out of them. They just Growth Spiral here. Don't hit a land, so if they don't hit a land next turn, it'll feel a little bit bad. So here I'm thinking a Crusader or the Worthy Knight. Decide to go Worthy Knight here, because I don't want them drawing extra cards right now since they're missing lands. They've got the Search for Kansas, so they have all the help in the world as far as finding land drops if they need to. So they kept something in their hand, but it wasn't a land, which is interesting. So here we got to start forcing the issue. So they're at 7. Again, they can't cast Shadow of the Sky right now, so I'm just playing into it all that we can. Everybody's attacking, baby. Everybody's attacking. No fear in this dojo. And we get Root Snared, unsurprisingly. And the beautiful thing is they can't really afford to build their board or do anything else here, because all their non-creature spells cost 1 mana more. They can't board wipe us. We've already taken their Shatter. It's just, you love to see it. And with that Battling Mage, perhaps with that Freebooter, I was supposed to just take the Root Snare. But I like I'd rather have the Installation against the board wipes, even if they have a way to remove that Battling Mage. Because if they bounce their Battling Mage and then board wipe you, that's, I mean, you see our board now, we'd just be super dead. Opponent gets lucky, hits another Root Snare off the top, so we play another Worthy Knight here. Pass the turn. They're still at 4 lands. Blast Zone goes to the bin. Pretty interesting, they bottomed a land, but they did draw another one in Hinterland Harbor. So, yeah, they don't have it. Unfortunately, they didn't even let us swing out. That would have been a really fun swing, but hey, we get there. Anytime we can beat up on Nexus, feels real nice. So that brings us to 3-1 on the list so far. Not too shabby. Let's play game number 5. We're on the play. Spoiler alert, I think this is the last game of the whole recording session that we got to be on the play. Everything else on the draw. We got a mulligan, but this is a decent hand here. 2 1-drops, 2 3-drops. Like, it's not the best, but it's not the worst. So we keep 6. Mulligan a land, which is a little bit risky, but we have 2 different draw steps to do it. I do, in the dark, I like keeping Deputy of Detention just because you want to have answers to something if they, have something important. So they drop a Temple of Silence, a lot of Azorius stuff going on here. Fervent Champ, not the best draw in the world, but not the worst either. So we go Fervent Champ, and then the Dauntless Bodyguard, because I'd rather the Fervent Champ stay alive. If the Venerable Knight dies, it gets to put a counter on the champion or something else anyways, so not too bad there. Really hoping for a land next turn, because then we can play General Kudro and get to swing in big damage. Unfortunately, we draw another 3-drop. Still, we're swinging for 6 here. Could be worse. Hope an opponent doesn't have much here. They shock in, go to 8. Banishing Light. Always feels fine whenever they take your 1-drop with their 3-drop. That's good mana. So here, we could Deputy Detention and take that Dauntless Bodyguard back, but it doesn't really matter. For now, I figure we can just play one of our lords here. So this way, swinging for 6. Get them down to 2. Next turn, we can play the Deputy if we needed to for some reason, but they've either got the board wipe or they don't here. Oath of Kaya. So, usually that feels pretty bad. However, we have another lord. So, drop the general. Get to swinging. GG. Good game 1. 4 color humans. So against what looks like Abzan Control, maybe Abzan Doom Foretold with all the enchantments. You guessed it, more Thalia. Thalia may just be a main deck card, these kind of things, honestly. Thalia is just fantastic. Take out the Hostage Takers, they showed 0 creatures. Cut 1 Judith. Again, sideboarding with this, we're kind of just guessing at this point. We do all kinds of configure in here, but we get it set up how we want. Cat Sale's also coming in. I don't know enough of their deck to bring in Meddling Mage, so I decided to leave that out for now. So game number 2 against Space Jack, coast to coast. This opener, really nice for us. We have the 1-drop, we have the 2-drop in Thalia. You love to see it. So we'll drop all Fervent Champion, get the swing in for 1. Opponent plays Overgrown Tomb tapped. Whatever deck they're playing seems to be a pretty slow one. Figures they don't have a turn 2 play. They probably don't have a turn 3 one either now because of Thalia. So yeah, like they may have something to do here, but now they can't. And unfortunately, we're drawing nothing but lands. So we'll drop this Worthy Knight, swing in for 3, pass the turn. If they have a board wipe here, they can't do it yet. So the bottom one there at the temple, we draw, you guessed it, another land. Like we just play this tapped, play Worthy Knight and make a light. That way, you know, we're opening ourselves up to a sweeper here. We gotta force them to have it anyways, because if not, they're taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have lethal on board. They have to have a board wipe here. Knight of Autumn. Knight of Autumn just gains some life. That's not a big deal at all. So it's only a 2-1. We have first strikers on Thalia and Fervent Champ. Make 2 more 1-1s. Decide to just put this on a Worthy Knight. And we're at that point now. It doesn't matter. They can do what they want to do here. And I should have put it on the Knight that I protected. That way, if they're less incentivized to block that, and I have one more point of damage to go through. So that was a bad choice on my end there. However, it doesn't really matter at this point, right? So they're at 7. We forget to play a land. Not that it really matters here, because we got plenty of them. And our curve tops out at 4. We get there. GG. And someone pointed out that it's actually rude of me to good game them after I'm the one that wins. So I guess that's my fault. I didn't know that was really like the etiquette, but I can see why it'd be considered rude. So, noted in the think bank. Game 5 here, we're on the draw, as will be for the rest of these games. It's hand sweet though. So, Stomping Ground leads me to believe it's probably Gruul. We'll see what they can do. When I played Gruul, I think I only had like 1 game where I had a Burning Tree Emissary in my opener. They drop a Burning Tree here. Hopefully they don't follow up with anything super good. They have another Burning Tree Emissary. Okay. Anything else? Cool. So the opponent casually casts 6 mana worth of spells on turn 2, while I have a 2/1 on the battlefield. I feel like here the play is just to get the swing and be aggressive. Since these have first strike, they can pump each other, and we can safely swing for 4. Opponent had the absolute wombo combo to start there, though. They play a land and play a Bone Crusher, and they swing for 4 back at us. Would have loved to draw a Lord here, so these could have swung in again, swung for 6. Instead, we just got to take this Bone Crusher with the Deputy of Detention. Look at that, we swing in 4 yet again. Now, sadly, Domri's Ambush can kill that Deputy of Detention if they have one. They can also swing in here and Ember Cleave. If they cleave here, we take 3, 6, 7, 8. So they cleave, no blocks on our end. We go to 8. Definitely not enough to kill them here. If we drew some of our lords, we may have had a chance here. It just never really came about. So this turn, maybe I could have got myself out of the situation if I had been a little bit more cautious. But when they got the Ember Cleave out, you still got to put that pressure on them and try to get through it. So we decided to take the deputies, that way it can block, soak up some damage with this big butt, and not die. And then a shotgun here to play a 2-1. Again, I'm not sure if that's the right call or not. But I get a little risky in attack here, swing for 4. They've only got the 2 creatures out right now, so I figure my blocks are good enough where as long as they don't have multiple haste threats, if they swing out and don't kill us, on that backswing you can really get them. They play a Pelt Collector here and a Gruul Spellbreaker. Yikes. Spellbreaker was a great draw. The Pelt Collector is whatever, but the Spellbreaker having haste there, really rough. So I try to calculate these blocks. In the end, I don't think it honestly mattered. Because even though I calculated this where I wouldn't die, the Stormfist Crusader does kill us. So they smartly put that in a way where the Stormfist Crusader doesn't die, and then on upkeep they'll ping us. So let's go to game 2. Yikes! So against them, Hostage Taker comes in. So we take out a Venerable Knight here because it just isn't doing much against their big bodies there. Just kind of a rough sideboard for what they have going on. Ended up putting in 2 more deputies and just taking the rest of the knights out. So take out the knights, 2 deputy, 2 hostage taker. On the play, let's see if this can go a little bit better. This hand is slow, so it's not fantastic, but it does have some good answers for what they're wanting to do. So Stomping Ground tap for them. No Llanowar Elves on their side at least is nice. We'll go ahead and play Worthy Knight. Opponent has the Lava Coil. Womp womp. Unfortunately, we keep drawing all the tap lands too. We don't really want to be taking all this damage, but it is what it is. We gotta do it. So Kudro coming down. They play a Mountain and a Gruul Spellbreaker. This time, they put the counter on it as a 4/4. We just keep on shocking ourselves with all this mana, which sucks. So we'll go ahead and take the Gruul Spellbreaker now that Hexproof is gone, since it's not their turn. And swing for 3. Luckily, this Hostage Taker being a 3/4 is kind of nice. It can still get Lava Coiled, though. They're looking at it. I'm afraid that's what's going to happen. Instead, they played Unchained Berserker and passed the turn, so now things are looking a lot better for us. Here, trying to decide what to do. Figure we'd go ahead, play that Inspiring Veteran, then play a big Spellbreaker. So as it stands now, we can swing in. They can block the General Kudro, but we still get the 4 damage this way. Get them down to 14. Looking decent for us so far. Questing Beast comes down, which is pretty rough. Another land. You love it. So here we kind of only swing in with the Spellbreaker. They don't block, which is pretty scary for me because that means they probably have Embercleave in hand. And Embercleave, the Questing Beast, obviously really good because Death Touch allows that trample damage to just ping you for 1 and the rest goes through. So hoping they don't draw another land here. If they swing all out, that obviously is Embercleave, so they swing all out. Unfortunate. And I almost go to no blocks here, and I do. Because at this point I'm trying to tell them, like, hey, if you got that Embercleave, just use it. And it's still pretty rough, because putting on the Questing Beast just means that none of our attacks are good anymore. However, if they do that, and we top deck another Hostage Taker, then we swing back on them for lethal, so see what they got. They're doing a lot of looking here. I can also sack some things to kill their Questing Beast, which is nice. And I think that's where they, while they don't, I guess pretty obviously have Embercleave here. So they hit us for 7. Play Burning Tree. Play Bone Crusher. Which means they probably got another Bone Crusher ready to roll. They do. So just the casual, you know, just super easy. Play Burning Tree, play double Bone Crusher Giant. feel like since it's going to die anyway, we target the questing beast. Sackhead, since this is dying, we need to get rid of one more thing. The hostage taker has done its job at this point. We appreciate his service, but it's gone. However, more lands. Here you see me counting on lands, thinking, what happened here? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of our 13 draws. Being lands is not good for us. Here we just swing for 4. And I'm in that spot where I know we're pretty much dead anyways. So I feel like at least this makes them have the Ember Cleave, and if not, we maybe get to put some more pressure on. But they swing out here. We're not long for this world. We swing, they cleave, attach the Berserker. GG. We got Gruul smashed. Happens to the best of them. Alright, so that takes it down to 2 losses, but we're going to try to find back here against a Kid Madness. Once again, on the draw. Opener is really nice though. We need one more land, but man, this hand is good. Start off with the Steam Vent, so I'm not quite sure what to expect here. Also having to shock a little bit for a mana, so hoping it's nothing too aggressive because we're shocking in everything. Lightning Stormkin. So I'm assuming this, because it's Elemental and a Wizard, this is probably the Izzet Wizards kind of build. So for them, I hope they get this Worthy Knight down first. Because you want to be able to pump it up later on and also just go wide on them is the way you usually beat those kind of decks. So they play an island. Almost attack. They're thinking about it. They say no. Unclaimed territory is nice because we don't have to shock ourselves anymore. And decide, hey, let's try to play this. Pump up the team. At the very worst, we're at least making a knight, which is good. Wizard's Retort. So we made a 3-mana 1/1 essentially. Nice. Opponent plays an island, plays another Stormkin. Yikes. Still no attacks. They're respecting our buffs, which I'll give them that. So here we can play an Inspiring Veteran. If they counter it, we can at least play another one, which is cool. So Wizard's Retort there. You can't hold on to things. You've got to just force them to have the answers. So here I'm thinking about what to swing with. I decide, heck, let's just do it. This Worthy Knight's going to double trade with them if they want to. Okay, and they just scoop. They don't even try to fight it. So as I was saying, they're going wide against them. Really, really nice. Thali is coming back in, as always. A lot of non-creature spells in their deck. But a lot of creatures too. It's kind of an interesting one to play against. Their creatures are cheap, so we put the Hostage Taker in there. Take it back out. A little pump fake action. Cut a Judy. Cut a Kudro. Because these 3-mana cards are easier for them to counter. Cut some Marshals. Then we figure we'll put some Freebooter in here because Freebooter can take some of their problematic cards. Do that. Ship it back for game number 2. So game 2 against a Kid Madness. Opener here is only one land. We've learned our lesson from last time. We can't keep those. This one's much better. Figure we'll throw the 4-mana card down here to discard for now. Play the Lava Runner on 1 and pass the turn. Again, all these shock lands kind of hurting us here. But I'm happy to trade this Bodyguard with the Lava Runner if they'd like. Augur of Bolas is an interesting one. And they got a Wizard's Lightning. Womp, womp. We find another Bodyguard. Here, since I know they have the Lightning, I figure I should take the Freebooter, play it. Now, unfortunately, they got a lot of just removable land counters here. The Lightning is a tad cheaper, so I feel like I should take it over the Lightning Strike, so that way they got to spend more of their mana to kill this if they want to. So we pass the turn here. Wonder if they just play Adeliz here instead of hold up counter spells. And they do, so they play Adeliz. Shields are down at least for the time being, which is nice. So opponent finally decides to attack with Adeliz here. We say no blocks, just let the 2 damage go through. Pass the turn. So here we draw Kudro, which is a pretty nice draw. So I'm deciding if I should play the Inspiring Veteran and Bodyguard or the Kudro. In this case, it's kind of nice because I can play the Veteran to pump up the team, and then I can play this Dauntless Bodyguard and protect either the Veteran or the Freebooter so they can't get their removal spell back. So end up protecting the Freebooter. That way, you know, they would have wanted to use their Lightning Strike before to remove it, but now they can't. So we're kind of just stealing that Wizard's Lightning from them, keeping it away. Playing that puzzle game is nice. It's fun. So opponent, Lightning Strike on the Freebooter. All the Wizards get +1/+1. Would rather have that Freebooter holding that Wizard's Lightning for now. So I do decide to go ahead and sack it. So, Freebooter, -1, but still thriving, still surviving. So now with these blocks, I can chump the Adeliz without it dying. Then I'll happily trade the Lava Runner off for my Bodyguard since it's not protecting anything. So we do little tradesies there. And interesting decision of things to do here, because Thalia is pretty nice, as is the rest of the stuff they're doing. Decided to just play this for now. Get that Lightning Strike out of here. That makes future Lava Runners worse because they don't have the instant sorceries in their graveyard. I feel like I better start swinging now. They've only got 3 power on board where I have 3, 6, 7, 8. And we can play around Wizard's Retort. So they play a Storm Tamer. That's their only blue source. They don't have another one right now. So we draw a Fervent Champ, which is actually pretty sweet. Still no lands for us. We're both stuck at 3 lands here. They don't have counter magic up, so I feel like if they're going to use a removal spell, now's the time they got to do it. They don't. So we'll exile that Lava Runner from them. That Retort stuck in hands looking pretty bad now. And now, Big Pappy Fervent Champ. With 3/3 with haste and first strike. Ooh. So I could swing with more things here, but we really don't want to lose any of our buff effects and anything like that on our creatures. So even though I want to be really aggressive right now, it just kind of makes more sense to swing with just the Fervent Champ. Their blocks here are bad because if they double block anything, I can remove one of them. So we get them down to 12. Pass the turn. This Freebooter doing work, just holding on to this Wizard's Lightning the whole time, and that's why I'm excited for Freebooter in Standard as well, is being able to do stuff like this. So they shock in, so that way they have Wizard's Retort held up, if they didn't already, just in case something dies. Still no lands. But again, I still think it's better to maybe go wide here, rather than pump the team a little bit more. So, same deal as before. If they want to remove this, they can feel free to. But I decided to go ahead, swing in with Thalia too. Now there's double blocks that do punish this, so I decided to just hold it back, just swing the Fervent Champ by itself again. Casually offer trades they want to. So opponent spends 2 mana for the shock there. They still have Wizard's Lightning or Wizard's Retort held up here, which is kind of stinky. But good play by the opponent because now they get the buff there and block. Luckily they still don't kill our Fervent Champion. I try to play the Worthy Knight. Let's bait that counterspell out. Good deal. That way, if they just play a land, or if they play a land, they have 1 card in hand. If they don't have the answer for this Inspiring Veteran is going to make it where everything can attack and feel pretty good about what it's doing. So no attacks for opponent at 10 all. We get the Fervent Champ. Oof. So I figure I'll lead on that, because my plan was to play the Fervent Champion here, and if they counter it, then play the Inspiring Veteran. So, exile another card. However, Inspiring Veteran cannot be played because I don't have the red mana. So even though that still kind of stinks, I feel like at this point, hey, we're the aggressor. Let's put you in a really bad spot. So I swing with everything but Freebooter, and making these Fervent Champions 4 toughness is really, really nice. So now, like, pretty much every block they have is bad. They do flash in Naru, which is pretty cool. A card that I forget exists, honestly. That buffs all of their wizards, though. However, our teams are buffed a little bit more right now. They are buffed Bagwell, I guess you could say. So Fervent Champ gets blocked by Augur Bolus. Storm Tamer chumping up on the Fervent Champ. And that's all. Really weird blocks, so they just like feed those to me. I'm not sure if they forgot that Fervent Champion has first strike or not. But they're in a really bad spot here. We have a bunch of attackers. They're going to have drawn the nuts to be able to get us here. They do get a lightning strike off the top for that Kite-Style Freebooter, which is pretty annoying. But I figure since it's dying anyways, we'll both of these have power 4 or greater now. So I'll sack that. We can easily sack one of our other creatures here. Decided to just do a Fervent Champ. Take out that Naru, and they see the writing on the wall. Scoop City, so we get the win against Izzet Wizards. Let's go! Alright, 5 wins now. Next game against Abzan. I think that's how you say his name. On the draw again. It's really hard to win these kind of games, especially in Historic, where the formats can be so kind of busted wide open with your starts. Really unfortunate to be on the draw like so many games here. Beautiful hand, beautiful curve though. Start off with the Fervent Champ, pass turn. They have some Bant, so I'm figuring this is either Nexus or Scape Shift. We play another Ancient Ziggy. Play a Worthy Knight, the Omen of the Sea. Because they're Yorion, and Yorion decks always play Omen of the Sea. Bottom 2 for there, always happy to see that. Swing 1, once again, pass turn. They just have to ferry here. It's whatever. So they just plus up, because I guess they thought, hey, no matter what we do, we can only swing for 4 here. Big dummy. That's not the case. We swing for 5. So here I figure we go Judith. They don't have anything in the bin to exile with Kudro, and at least this next turn, if they have the Shadow of the Sky to board wipe us, we can do 3 to the face for them, which isn't super incidental. They nice us because they're a big old jerk, and they get the Shadow of the Sky. As I said, we can hit them for 3. Opponent with the BM there nicing us, so hopefully we can get some revenge here on them, because nobody likes Nexus players nicing you, if that's what they are. So here I've got a choice between Kudro or Crusader, and I think I make the wrong choice here. I think Kudro is the way to go, because next turn I could have played both of those, and I think I'm kind of realizing that as I play now. So Golo's coming in. Yikes. Finding a Field of the Dead. And that Shadow of the Sky was a little bit too brutal for us. Don't think we're going to be able to come back from this one. So here we can play the Deputy of Detention. And as I said before, should have played that Kudro the last time. It is what it is. We can go ahead and exile that now, but it's probably just a little bit too little too late. So we'll swing for 2, get him down to 12. Not looking good. Opponent plays a Castle Vantress, makes a Zambi, plays an Omen of the Sea. Yikes. Bottom 2 there once again. At this point, it probably just doesn't matter. They play another Teferi, they can get their Golos back. We figure, let's just go ahead and pack it in, concede. Go to the next game, play the puzzle. I'll be sideboard, I'm going to get a drink, I'll be right back. Alright, so yeah, anyway, we did all that, and we did all this, then we hit next and start the game. It's like I never left. You guys didn't even miss my commentary. So, we'll take the play of this game. 1 lander. 3 lander, though, with all kinds of gas in hand. We'll take these all day. We bottomed the Deputy there. It probably should have been a land, honestly, with all we have. But hey, we draw another one anyways, because Arena always seems to give you whatever card you bottomed. So on the play, if they don't have some kind of answer for this turn 1 Thalia, it's kind of just time walking this deck. Everything gets more expensive, and you love to see it. So here we can shock in, play the Meddling Mage. So we'll start off here since it's turn 3. Play the Teferi. That way, even though they got a couple turns, they can't play Teferi now. And definitely protect this Thalia, because Thalia is the real deal in this matchup. It's just such a beater. So opponent plays the castle. And they play Seal Away, which is pretty frustrating. However, we have a Deputy here, so not a huge deal. So land coming down. We've already named Teferi, so next turn we're insulated. And now we just get this Thalia right on back. It does save him 2 points of damage, but still, feels pretty good having Thalia back on the battlefield for us. They play a field, they get the Yorion back in hand, and that's all they got. So, I think this is the thing I was talking about earlier, if I recall correctly. I have the mana to play all these things. I play Meddling Mage to start off with, named Shadow the Sky, really insulate us, and then my fat palm accidentally hit my keyboard. So where you have like space to go to the next phase, I was sitting here, my palm hit the thing. Now granted, that wouldn't have been lethal anyways, but still, it feels a little bad. Doesn't matter, they scoops it up. You see me shaking that in the anger because I didn't mean to do that. So game 3 here, no changes, I go back and throw it back at them. Alright, so game 3 after sideboard. I'm just going to put this water bottle down. Let's see if we can get that revenge on our opponent who was a little bit of a jerk to us with the nice. Opener here. It's not amazing, but it will do. Deputy is good because it takes all their zombies they make with Fill the Dead if they have it. Ooh, there's Meddling Mage. Now the hand got a little bit better. There's Thalia. Now it really got better. So, we've been fortunate enough both games after sideboard to curve into Thalia and to Meddling Mage kind of things. The top two here, kind of disgusting. They shock in and play Elvish Rejuvenator, because creature spells definitely don't matter. We draw another Meddling Mage. Ooh. Here, don't want old Thalia to die, so I named Golos here. I'm not sure if that was the right play or not, because honestly I probably should have named Shadow the Sky, but I wanted to give them one turn where it's like, hey, if you got it, you got it, because I got another Meddling Mage anyways. So they play a land tapped, pass the turn. A land would have been great for us here to be able to Meddling Mage and Kitesail Freebooter, but no such luck on our end. So I figure for now, I can Freebooter. That way if they have a Shadow of the Sky, we can go ahead and steal it from their hand. They have Seal Away and Aether Gust. And hey, that Golos play, not too shabby, right? Always feels good when you see the dead card stuck in their hand like that. So we take the Seal Away, so that way we can keep on safely attacking in. They can't do anything about it. Aether Gust here, not super good against us because we don't really play a lot of red. We have 0 green cards in the deck, and not a lot of red. So here they just play the Yorion. I mean, they can hold up Aether Gust now, but that doesn't do a lot either. So, another Deputy, still no lands, which we really need. But, so I have two choices here mostly. I can play General Kudro, pump the team, and swing. Or I can play Meddling Mage and hit Shadow of the Sky. However, with them being on the back foot here anyways, I decided let's put the pressure on them, and this way we're forcing them to top deck a Shadow of the Sky. If they don't top deck Shadow of the Sky, they can have whatever lands they want to. It won't really matter. They have 2 forests now, so like their Fill the Dead isn't super close to coming back on. So let's see what they got here. Temple Garden tapped. Whatever. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different lands. So the next land drop, they will get a zombie token. So here they just play Yorion. So they will be able to bounce this Rejuvenator. and make a zombie. However, we do have a Deputy of Detention, so we should be able to take their Yorion and be just fine. But we won't. So they top 2 there with Omen, which is scary. We got to find a way to kill them here. Unfortunately, we can't play Deputy because we named Human on our unclaimed territories, and Deputy is the one card that's not Human. However, still pretty good spot here because we have Inspiring Veteran and Fervent Champion. So we play the Veteran. They don't have the mana to stop this Fervent Champ now. So luckily, even though we couldn't cast our Deputy Detentions here, we can still swing in with everything. Give them the good game, which again, apparently that's rude, so my bad. But we get them. So 6 wins. 2 more to get to 8. Let's see if we can do it. Let's go. Alright. Game number 6 here against Brosius. On the draw again. I guess we were just running too hot in the arena. It was like, nah, son. Nah, you're going to be on the draw every game now. Opener here, really nice. 2 different 1-drops, 2-drop, 3-drop lords. This is a hand that can just murder somebody. Opponent plays a swamp and passes the turn. We'll drop a Venerable Knight. Not sure what they're playing right now. It's hard to tell from just a basic swamp. However, they just play another swamp, so I'm assuming this is Mono Black Devotion or maybe Mono Black Obliterator. Here, drop the Crusader, swing in, get him down. So, opponent plays a Castle Lockwayne. If they pass the turn here, that's a pretty obvious Murderous Rider. If they play something, then we get to play a General Kudro or a Benalish Marshal, pump up the team, and start swinging. So, see what they got. No play for them, so they pass the turn. You draw a Venerable Knight there with that, and another Crusader. So there is some thought into playing another Crusader and then a Venerable Knight. I figure instead we'll play the Kudro. If they have a Murderous Rider for it, they still take 2. And then we have another Kudro to follow it up with, so that's pretty good. So, Kudro coming down. Nothing to exile yet, but that's okay. So yeah, they Murderous Rider it. I mean, that's unfortunate, but they do take 2 more damage here. And then we still get to swing for 4 and get them down to 11. So even though we're on the draw, still just a fine start for us. We can't complain. Swamp for the opponent. They looking at our creatures. Okay. They just play a Murderous Rider. That is A-okay with me. So we draw another land and a Venerable Knight. So, not sure why I decided to play the Benalish Marshal this time. Doesn't really matter at this point, though. They still don't have anything to exile. So, not a huge deal. So I'm thinking I can either play a Venerable Knight or I can play this Fervent Champ and just start attacking. And even though this allows them to eat my Fervent Champ here, I'm still going to send 7 damage to their face. So this is probably too greedy and I shouldn't have done this. However, it still worked out just fine for me, I think. So probably not worth it in the end, honestly. But I play Gruul, we attack face, baby. They're still in a bad spot. They still need to have a board wipe or something. Even like a Gary here is not a huge deal. So they have another Murderous Rider for our Lord. So that takes it down to 3. And then Temur coming down. Unfortunately, they had that because the Stormfist Crusader was lethal. Either way, shoot him for 2 here. And Inspired Veteran, not too bad either. So here, we can play Kudro and the Veteran. So we play that. Play this. Now we get to swing with both of these, because if we just swing with the Crusader, they double block it, and we just trade with one of those. This forces it where they're kind of in a weird spot. So I get to choose what to kill here. And since we had to decide which one we do first there, they actually don't gain life from the Murderous Rider, so they just did. So that worked out pretty good for us in game 1. Let's go to sideboard. Mono black. I'm assuming this is a devotion kind of thing. They didn't show us too much of the deck, though, so it's kind of hard to know what exactly to do. So we'll cut a Judith. The Judith is one card in this deck where I just always feel like it's one of the kind of cuts here. I'm sure it's a fine card. It's just, I think I would rather have the Thalias in their main. They just seem like they're way more useful in a lot of situations. So we do our sideboard and shenanigans here. Again, they didn't really show us too much, so it's kind of hard to know what the sideboard in here. We're just kind of throwing stuff at the wall right now, though. No Thalia, because they didn't show a lot of non-creature spells. It's mostly creatures there. Alright, open hand. One land. It's a good hand if we can get more lands, but we can't even play our one drop right now with that Godless Shrine. If that was a Blood Crypt or something with red mana, then maybe we consider it. This one's a lot better, though. This is a pretty aggressive hand once again, so if they just don't have too much removal, we can do some things. However, Mono Black, they just have so many kill spells in here, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, so to castle for them, we play Dauntless Bodyguard. Pass turn. Swampy Swamp for the opponent. And then go ahead and play a Finlurker to start off with. So that makes us exile a card. Kind of annoying. Looking at what we should do here. Don't think we ever want to play another Dauntless Bodyguard, so we exile that one instead. Fervent Champion off the top is fine. Not a fantastic draw, but it is what it is. For here, we just swing 3. They take it, go to 17. Pass turn. Swampy Swamp for the opponent. And they hold up the most obvious Murderous Rider of their life. Now, unfortunately, we miss a land here, so we get stuck at 2 and only 1 red source, so we can't play the double Fervent Champ, which is pretty rough. So, waiting to see what they do. I don't attack with Inspiring Veteran because they can pump up their Finlurker and block it. So waiting to see what the move is here for him. And they Murderous Rider our boy. So Veteran gets the axe. They'll go to 15. Dauntless Bodyguard to 3-1 now, so now they may be interested in trading. Which they are. So we're left with the Fervent Champ on board. Not the best start for, especially with us missing lands here. That's kind of rough. We'll see if we can fight through it. Ayara, not a bad draw for them. Now they're stuck at 3 lands, so hopefully... And again, we're kind of screwed on mana here. Because I have no black mana. So it sucks. Can't play my Hostage Taker yet. So instead we're just sitting here while they have their 2-3 on board. So even though we kept a really good hand, I think, just missing lands here is a little bit too much. So they play a Phyrexian Obliterator, which is insane against us. Now we do have Hostage Taker, which can steal it, but we need lands for that, and we don't draw those apparently. Worthy Knight. Coming down, no attacks. So at this point, I know we probably just lost the game. We can't really do much at this point. Noxious Grasp on the Worthy Knight. Pretty greedy, honestly, but I guess they didn't want us getting the tokens. And they play Murderous Rider. They swing in for 5 here. No blocks for sure, because we don't want to be sacking any more permanents, because we only have 5 on the battlefield anyways. Right on time. Around like turn 6 or so, we get unclaimed territory. So we can steal the Obliterator here. However, where they left back the Ayara, they just sack it, draw a card. So yeah, we're pretty boned, is what it comes down to. We're going to see what the opponent does, see if they slip up and give us a chance to get back in this game. But not looking fantastic as it stands. Spawn of Mayhem. Yoicks. Drain us for 1. It's just rough. When they get that engine going, it's pretty hard to beat. When you're missing lands, you definitely can't do it. Right on time is Meddling Mage. So hey, we'll scoop it up. Scoop City. So game 3 here. Gotta win this one or we're done with this thing. After seeing more of the deck now, definitely bring in these Deputy of Detention. Just another way to get rid of those Obliterators. Send it back at him here. Judith not really doing too much there. Definitely don't be pinging most things after death. Opener here is slow. Has a lot of answers though. So I decided to keep this. Again, not a great hand, but this Stormfist Crusader can find us some answers. And we're just missing on a 1-drop here, which of course we draw. Very first draw step. Is that how it is though? And as you see here, I really wish Arena had a way to go back there because I didn't mean to drag that one. So I was meaning to move that and sort it out because I'm a weirdo. So I can't even play the Crusader on curve here because you can't go back as far as I know. If anybody knows a way to go back on that, please let me know. So we have the tournament grounds here, but again, we don't have the black mana for Kudro. The plan here is to play Crusader. Figure, might as well shock that in for now, and then we play Kudro. And the reason we did this afterwards was because we was hoping that Fervent Champ would bait out a removal spell, but it didn't. So I figured maybe they didn't have a removal spell, but of course they do. I mean, it's black. Black has all the removal spells. So maybe not play this in super optimally. Still a pretty rough matchup for us sideboard, but kind of awkward there. Got a little bit just frazzled, I think, from that Hallowed Fountain coming in when I didn't want it to. Another Fervent Champ here is whatever. I can play Hostage Taker and take their Ayara, or I can Deputy it for the time being and then play Fervent Champion with the hopes of then following up by land and Obliterator, because if they do that, they have to have another removal spell for this Deputy, or we play the Obliterator, and if that's the case, getting that off the table is really good. So swing 4. See what the opponent's got for us here. They play a land. They send a Deputy, cast down, takes the Deputy. Yikes. Drannith. They pass the turn, so obviously holding up some more removal. So we'll try to Hostage Taker here. Hoping it will come down. Alright. We're going to get us some Ayara. Yeah. Just kidding. No attacks for us. We'll just sit here, hold back once again. They play a Phyrexian Obliterator. Hate to see it. Alright, so the shields are down now. We got Hostage Taker coming. And we got that Phyrexian Obliterator. Oh yeah. They've only got 3 cards in hand, so we'll attack. Swing for 4. As long as they can't kill this Hostage Taker, and they've used a lot of removal spells already. Obliterator's ours, baby. But they got the Murder Strider. So at this point, like, we're pretty much done. We can't possibly kill that thing anymore as it stands. We can draw some more Hostage Takers, but I mean, we're just running out of answers to kill that. We can't attack into it because we sack everything. Ancient Ziggy. Right on time. Figure I'll try to play it out though. So we play the Worthy Knight. Play the Crusader. At least gives ourselves a shot to win this thing. Maybe if we just draw some Lords back to back, we'll have enough to be able to do this and get the win. But as it stands right now, not looking hot. So opponent sacks their Gutter Bones to be able to draw a card. So it looks like they're looking for some answers too, or just trying to get a good foothold on us here. Pretty smart by them. They play a Swamp. 3 cards in hand we don't know of. Okay, Murder Strider coming down. That's not too bad. Drain us for 1. They swing for 5, and again, we can't block that, which stinks. So they hit us for 5. We got to draw something real nice off the top. Basically, we have two turns to draw a Deputy or a Hostage Taker. And hey, we draw a Deputy. All right. All right. We got this deputy gonna come down, maybe take that obliterator. They can sack it, but if they sack it, it's dead. So obliterator is ours. So you're saying there's a chance. There's no chance. Good game opponent. 6 wins overall in the tournament. We tried our best. We did what we could. But they got us. They got us. So, even though we did pretty good there, playing like the last 4 games on the row in the draw is pretty rough. 6 wins. Hey, not too bad at prizes though. Did what we could do. Let's go. Alright, so 6-3 overall. Spoiler alert, I recorded that intro after all this because I'm having to do all this post-commentary because I didn't actually do commentary when I recorded this. So, hey, 6-3. Not too bad though. Feels kind of bad losing the mono black deck at the end. Just removal deck. I don't think it's going to be a good deck against a lot of people, but against a humans list like this where you're playing nothing but creatures, mono black with the Phyrexian Obliterator and just removal is killer. But yeah, this deck is sweet. The sideboard game plans you have with this with Meddling Mage and Thalia, Castle Freebooter, it's just like a puzzle you get to solve, and it's really, really interesting way of playing it because you're still applying pressure, putting creatures on the board, but you're also one by one picking apart resources they can use. So like there's this, it's such a good feeling to throw Thalia down, know that you're kind of time walking them kind of for a turn, and then you put down the Meddling Mage, stop their plays. It's just a really neat feeling there. But hey, overall 6-3, we'll take it. You know, it's not 8 wins, but we had a lot of fun there. Once again, early access stream tomorrow, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, assuming there's no delays or anything. Twitch.tv/TitansFan20. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for support. Love you guys. Let's go!